What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. This is Rabbit's not home, so I'm on pet duties. Got my co-pilot back here. He's just hanging out like he does. But I've also got her cat hanging out in here tonight. Shouldn't be long before he makes an appearance, because we all know how he is. Gonna be fun. Audio check looks good, so we're ready to roll. Well, we got to start out talking about the big change. Split in the deep deserts. We kind of hinted towards that on Wednesday. Got out and messed around just a little bit, but it's only been a week, so passing judgment's kind of wrong. Like, you need to experience things a little bit more. But I will say there are some really apparent problems that you're going to see here. The first is, let's talk about the PvP Deep Desert. um, your average PvP player wants to fight other players. They find the NPCs kind of boring, you know? And I can understand that because they're so easy to pattern and you get used to, where they are and what they do, and they don't hide very well and they're not all that bright. So it's not really any kind of a challenge, or, you know, you very rarely see people posting in forums or anything about how they were able to slaughter their way through Sentinel City. It's like, dude, it's a bunch of NPCs that don't work together. But that's what they're looking for. And if they don't find it, what do? So they're unhappy. The worst among them go out and mess with the PvE people. The best among them try to set up certain things to do, different ways to get people involved, such like that. And with that, I'm going to say that tomorrow we are doing a surprise unscheduled stream, because I am going to be participating in a PvP event here in Odin. I'm not going to tell you any more about it. You have to tune in to watch. If you watch my content, you know I have this long, huge back catalog of me and my PvP actions, so oui vey. But we're going to jump into it. I think that there's a lot of people who shy away from PvP that might enjoy it if there was a little more controlled aspect of it and a little more purpose and things like that. But I've said it so many times, it's no point in talking about it. Oh, you got a deputy dog? Thank you very much. I hope they do help. Got a couple coming out this week. Just real life has kind of drug me out of the studio and shoulder to the wheel, so we have been a little bit down, but we're going to get a couple out this week. Members get 24-hour early access to all videos, with the exception of breaking news, because you know how I cover the breaking news. But anywho, so look for those this week, as well as Wednesday and Saturday looking good. Don't see any reason why they won't happen. Monday and Wednesday and Saturday. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be choosing violence, so we'll have to see how that goes. So what's on the agenda today? Well, we're going to talk about a couple things. Let's get ourselves into the air right now. Scrape some paint, that'll be fine. Get ourselves airborne. So the change to flying. You know what? We'll stop right here and talk about this. I am a little bit unhappy with myself because I knew that the unlimited, like, no matter what you're gaining altitude, once you went into vulture mode, was going to go away. And I was kind of like, don't get used to it, dude, don't get used to it. And somehow I did, which creates some issues now. The way to figure it out for yourself, I mean, I can explain it to you, but that's not going to be nearly as good as you actually doing it and getting out there. Grab yourself a rocket scout. because a rocket scout will help bail you out of some of the dumb problems that you're going to experience. For instance, here I've got no forward momentum. If I go into vulture mode, we're not gonna like we used to. Instead, we're gonna drop like a rock. Then we kind of level out, and we're at the 179, 175. So we used to be able to go into vulture mode and just automatically off we go. And you'll see that with even just a slight increase in my nose, I am dropping in speed until it gets real scary. And then we're going to drop again until we just finally fall out of the sky. And then it all starts all over again. What you want to do is you want to keep yourself at about in like, for extended flights, just a little bit below the line. And for your average flight, you're going to want to kind of stay right in here. Also, like I said, you need to have forward momentum. If we're going to go forward and kick in that vulture, then there's less of a noticeable drop, and we can maintain our speed so much better. The reason I say a rocket scout will help you out with that, because even at a dead stop, rocket scout will immediately go into vulture. So it's kind of the best way for you to learn and figure out some of the finer points of flying now. But we're going to head out to Deep Desert. Before we do that, though, let's talk about something else real cool. Boop, boop. We're rolling with 91 combat. We have pretty much put everything we've got into this. We were in the 70s. And I don't think I've done a mission that wasn't combat related for the last 2 weeks. We have really put our points into this. That's a bad point now, which you can see I need 624 to get to level 92. I mean, we knew it was increasing. Here I am at 50, and I only need 518, so it just goes up a little bit every time. I still have some missions. I got 7 missions I could still do. Figure 125, I'll be able to put about 1,000 points into something, which means I'll be able to finish this off. I don't know if I'll hit 93 with the 7 missions I have. So 7 missions equals 1. 1 and mostly. I'll be really close to hitting 93. Come tomorrow when I get those new 5 missions, we'll be at 93. Pretty much at the point where, depending on how many I have in reserve, like here I've got the 184, a full day's worth of missions will get me a level. Eventually I'll be like, a level, and then this one I'll be at close, and then we'll be at a level and a level, just from the overrun. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Takes a day to do it, so we're a week away. I don't know if next Saturday we'll be having the look at me, I'm at 100 schedule conversation. But yeah, they cut the legs off the flying a while back, which helps so farmers be able to escape aggressive attackers. Now with the split PvE deserts, just seems like a quality of life loss. I'm hoping they're gonna help. I think the unlimited increase is kind of an unrealistic thing. And I didn't quite like it. I liked when they kind of operate the way they're supposed to. Again, why am I being a stickler for accuracy when here I am sitting in my room in front of my computer flying an ornithopter around on Dune? Like, sandworms, I got no quarrel with the logic behind that, but damn it, this ornithopter needs to fly according to physics. I could float around with a suspensor belt all I want, but the reason I do like it, like I said, it kind of follows with the way I expect it to behave. I just have to reacclimate myself to that. Again, with the rockets, really don't notice it as much with the rockets, with the rockethopter. or a thruster. Uh, but with a rocket scout, there's a noticeable change in the way you do. And this kind of stuff is actually, it's going to get you killed, because you're going to go into vulture mode, like right here. Right, I'm at 149, and I'm like, okay, where is that bad guy? And then I look, and I'm already at 120 something. And if they're able to come at you from a higher angle, which is where most people are going to from now on, they will be able to maintain this 180 speed, and it will not take them long to get you back into range. So I would suggest that if you are going to dip your toes into some PvP stuff, you need to do a lot of flying here around Haga just to reacclimate yourself and make it so you're not so much of a target. Because you will be. I will be, you know. I'm nowhere near where I want to be as far as learning it. See, I never would have hit that on my golden days. But now that we don't know how to fly, some Spider-Man crap going on right there, man. I meant that to happen. That was the way it was supposed to go. You know what? Before we head out, I'm gonna do one other thing. This is a change that they made. We're gonna make use of it. Really wasn't an issue before. It's just something I never really did much, so it didn't affect me. But I completely disagree with this move. But it's not up to me. I don't like the fact that all areas of Haga had their PvP potential removed. I think that was a bit of a mistake. Now I know that, you know, and even for myself, when you're first starting out, and you have to go to some of these areas for materials or for items, and if you don't want to do PvP, and you know, you're kind of like, ah, crap, here I am, stuck doing something I'm really not comfortable with and don't want to do and not built for, and there's all sorts of problems. I understand how that can be a relief, and I really didn't experience any kind of PvP in these areas. I was always aware of the potential, and I didn't like going into the big ships like these because I wasn't familiar with the layout, and any kind of like a shooting game, if you have a lot of knowledge about the map, you got a huge advantage because you know where to go, where not to go, good areas, good lanes, good lines, etc. And you can get one of my highest scoring matches. It's such a shame. Was the Christmas after Destiny 1 released, and then they put it on a Christmas sale, and Bungie even put out a thing saying, "Hey, let's be a welcoming community because you know there's going to be a lot of new players coming in." And I remember being in the Crucible and on Venus, the map that was on Venus. I kind of don't remember which one it was called because they brought it back in Destiny 2. But you could look down there was like a tunnel, and I got 17 kills in a row in that one spot. I had an icebreaker, I think. I think I still had my icebreaker. I got it at that point. And I was running low on ammo. I was like, oh my gosh. And that thing made its own ammo. It just kept running down the hallway like nothing was going on. So this area here used to be a PvP area. When I run up there, there's going to be the Baron owns this or some kind of silliness. Spider thopter, hell yeah. It was totally on purpose. The reason I'm here is I'm only missing 2 achievements for this game. One is Lisan al Galib, which I have to start a new character in order to do. Eventually we're going to do that. The other one is I've got to kill 500 Harkonnens. And I have no idea how many I have. I could have 200. I could have... Calm down there, buddy. I could have 495. I have no idea. I've been to this place, and I've been to the other place for Harkonnens, which is the Beast or the Claw, I think. But only a few times. mainly because it was, you know, PvP area and I didn't have to go there. This is where you get some kind of a regulator. But I want to come up here and talk to this guy. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He might have stuff for me. I don't know.
Do you have business with me?
He does.
Or
Yes, you have a reward. What is it? Just 10,000 Solari. Okay. That's new. I have not collected a reward since they made the change there. So you can leave rewards. Why? Why would you leave a reward with a guy?
Do you have business with me?
I don't know. If you know why they did that, let me know. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go in here because I need to get over here and start killing some Harkonnens to, yeah, see the PvP flag would be starting right now. It's kind of sad because these guys are not prepared for a dude wearing graded materials, you know? What do you get from here? It's these. Power regulators. Excuse you? It's rude. Yeah, it was power regulators. And a little bit of Solari. And I used to hate coming here because it seemed like every time I came here, the Atreides were killing these guys. And then, like, I'd be like, hey, guys, let's get them. Because, Atreides. And then they'd start shooting me, too. And I'm like, all right. Thanks for killing all the Harkonnens, which is the only reason I'm here. So eventually we're going to be doing this, and something's going to pop up in the bottom left and tell us that we've got an achievement. Hey, quite a few of you guys in here. I'll take that. You can die. Double melee. We're gonna do this without actually seeing it. So there was two out the other side. There was 2, 3, 4 in here, I think. Was there 4 or 5? There was more than this. Did I kill a guy up here? No? Alright. Well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outside, and 7. I think there's still possibly some bad guys. We're going to see. But I got to kill, it says 500. I mean, even 1 is the right direction, you know? That's the one that I got the extra one. So we're at 8. That's good. Not sure if there's another one somewhere. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to grab our power regulators and we're going to call it a day. Guess we'll go up here on the desk. Grab our identification band and downstairs we go. I really wish that they would, yeah, why not? Wish they would give us the ability to track this progress. I mean, it's a small thing, so if they don't, they don't, but I don't like not knowing. Damages my calm. Just take it all. And then we can go away from here and let them respawn. If they want. Takes them a while. If I really wanted to get this done, I could just siege hop, because I believe these guys will respawn. Find out. We're close to the edge anyway. Could be 1,000 of them. No, it's only 500. So. Okay. Fact-finding mission. I normally didn't siege hop unless I was down in Shoal. Back in the days when I had to go through the shipwrecks down there to get my irradiated slag. But now I can get them from the wreck of the Tyche, and I took care of all my needs. So we don't normally come down here anymore. Yeah, I think it's going to be that entrance. Okay, so siege hopping. Talked about this before, but yeah, exit to menu, confirm, servers. Here's where I'm at. Click on it. I'm on a beer, so we're going to go to Ramal. And then we'll go back in. So now, this is the same Haga Basin as I was just on, except it's on a different siege, which means those bad guys should be back. If we're really super excited about getting this achievement done, we could just sit here all night and do this. Roughly get about 10 bad guys. Hey, little buddy, what are you doing? I don't have to do that achievement anymore, so I don't have to kill you. Little man? I didn't know you squeaked. Remember, I saw somewhere, I think it was on Reddit, somebody said that when they do that, that means a worm's coming. And they're like, oh, as long as you see the mouse is still up, you're okay. Boy, was that a lie. I think the first time I tested that out, got some spice. I think the first time I tested that out, bad guys were there. Look at this. Somebody's got themselves, easy. A little bit of base here. They don't have any power. Let's go in. Let's go in and take a look, right? Well, I even have my construction tool. These things are in bad shape, literally. It's like I'm in a dungeon. Raw resources. Refined. Thank you for having, oh, see, it says storage containers. I'm just going to use the skills now. Chest and chest. So they started to kind of make some sense of it, but it's a clever little design here. A nice mural. A gate that's open. And a donkey. Oh. Somebody that pre-ordered had this. I don't have this. I'd love to get one. This is your base. Come to my siege. Make one of these in my place. Please. Got a little house on there. Oh, there was a great story. It almost became a video. There was a person who was near my siege that had one of these, and their base was breaking, and it was breaking. And I watched it for a while, and then when it finally broke, I threw my feet down and claimed it. I had one of these. And then I was like, well, let me see if I can, because if you can get this in your base, then it's yours, you know? And I was like, oh, let me see what I can do. So I tried to move it, but you can only move it so far. Like once you go so far, it just disappears. So I put a block down as far away from the siege that I'd made as I could. And then I put a foundation square, moved this onto that foundation square. And then I broke my subfief and moved it over to where this little guy was. And I kept kind of leapfrogging that. And After the third time, that would put me at about halfway to my base. It just stopped responding to like the move. I couldn't target it. I couldn't do anything. It's like it didn't exist. And unfortunately, it just had to sit outside until the storms took it because I couldn't even move him back. But yeah, I was close to getting one of these, but I didn't have it. So sad day. Got a Dune door that I just walked through, so that's neat. It's an office, some stuff on the shelves, books. I'm here to kill Harkonnens, and we're being judgy. Artax's base looks better than this one. Where's this go? It's got a tread wheel. Nice, nicely tucked away. I can give you credit on that one. Still haven't found a sub thief, which means it's probably like behind this wall. Well, no, this is a real wall. Probably hidden somewhere. I haven't seen it, or I may have just ran past it without even realizing. Haha. Up. And it's... So this wall is bad, which means this stuff's going to start taking damage. These walls are bad too, so you're about to... You're going to be free, little man. You're about to be free. I can't get around this corner to check it, but... Not worth coming back for. But it's kind of nice. Got a Matador picture of Grandpa. Okay. I remember in the early days of me playing, in my original... Okay, we're just going to fall for no reason. Well, I mean, obviously the reason is because the floor disappeared. Looks like there was at some point a bunch of stuff here. I hate climbing. I get stuck on walls all the damn time. Ooh, this was Pentashield at one point. Okay. Alright. There were a lot of people that built along this wall. They built, not here, obviously, but yeah, along these. There was actually one base that was really big and awesome. And many a time did a storm come through and I had to hide. And sought shelter in their little base. Okay. Let's go see what happens. Okay, so there's gunshots, so the Atreides guys are already here shooting them. Yeah. Stop killing the people I need to. About tired of taking them drill shots. That one's gonna have to hit. Dickhead. Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. The Atreides were here. Oh, hey. I don't know where they come from. Well, I mean, obviously Caladan, but I don't know. I guess it's that crashed little... Oh, I'll get you in a second. I don't know if it's from there or where, but... Cutting into my totals. Looks like I got here quick enough that I didn't let them... Didn't get too many of them. Guess we need more power regulators, right? We'll be good on them quite a while. actually don't need the aluminum, but I'm going to grab it anyway. Eventually, we've got to make our way back down here to Shoal, because we've got to get some jasmine. Adept burst drill shot. Scout thrusters are nice. I mean, they are what they are, but we don't need them. Okay, so there's a few more, at least. We could keep doing this if we really, really wanted to. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get to that point where I'll be like, dude, it's got to get done. And I'll just come here, siege hop until the stupid thing goes away. But, ooh, we got sandstorm. So that was maybe, I mean, we'll aim high. That was, what, 20, you think? Like, you know, it's like probably like 15 that we added to them. So, a little each day. I should probably start making this part of my routine where I'll log in and, like, when I go do stuff, one of the things I have to remember to do. Let's go after these guys. But now, I don't think it really matters. But we're going to return home just so we don't get confused when we go back to our base and our base is not there. That's what these symbols mean. These this means you've been there, and that means you live there. So we'll go here and we'll go here. And I'm pretty sure we have not been away enough for the Harkonnens to come back. But we're not going to go there anyway. We go north. It's getting hot in here. The lights don't help. So, we are actually going to go to the PvP side because that's where our base is. I did not build one in the PvE section. I probably should have. I can't anymore. I'm stuck where I'm at. It's actually kind of okay. If I was going to build a base, I would probably build it either on in the PvE Deep Desert. I would either build it on the shield wall where I build all the time, near a spice field, or near one of the islands so that I could do a whole bunch of resources. That would be the most plausible thing for me to do. But it's actually okay because I fly from here. I just go to the overland map and back into the deep desert, switch over to the PvE side, and within a minute or so we're there. So we're there. So it's okay. Fun with flying. Ah, there's home. I forgot that we had thrusters on. Worse things. Okay, here we are. Home sweet home on the dangerous parts of the world. I say this all the time. I need a way to get from there down to here much quicker than by running through the top hangar or running outside, and I have yet to fix that. Alright, so this machine's been running for a long time. We're down to 2. We got a decent amount sitting in here. think I queued up 8. I went over to the PvE side, and I was trying to um, see if I could run my crawler on one of the large fields over there. The first time I did that, did not have much luck because there were so many people that were already on there. And then this morning, when I logged in, just to get kind of things ready, get some screenshots and record some footage for the videos I talked about coming up this week, I was flying out, and I started on the left and went to all the fields, and none of them had popped. I'm like, dude, what the heck? And then I saw a medium, an untouched medium field, and I was like, I need to get something because we're just flying around wasting fuel cells. So I hit that medium. While I was there, another one blew. I could actually see it. I was like, cool, finish this one, went to the next one. Got that one, and then started to fly towards the last remaining large field that I knew existed. And on the way there, shortly after, I found another medium. So I hit 3 mediums in succession. They were actually all within sight of each other. And then I went to the large field, and it was mostly scrapped, like people had really pulled from it. And then the storm was coming through anyway, so I flew off and let the storm pass, and then when I got back, it had reset the field. So I was like, awesome. So I started to fly away, came across another medium, hit that, and then hit another medium. The rest is history. I actually had to go to somebody's base and drop off some of the spice I had because I filled the container. I did eventually hit a large field, which sucked because I'd done so many mediums. I only did like 2 stripes, even halfway up, before I got the red ring and she was full. So then I went and dropped off a bunch of spice at a base, and then went back out to that field. In the time that I had flown, I think it was only like maybe 3 kilometers, like 3,000 meters away. By the time I got back, there were 2 carriers and a guy flying in an assault, getting ready to harvest from that field. And I was like, you know what? You guys have fun. So I flew away, and on the way back to the base to get all the spice that I had dropped off, I saw another medium blow up, so I was like, might as well, it's extra. Picked that up, and then I thought about going to the base, picking up some extra just to fill the container, but I was like, nah, let's just switch it out. On the way down, final medium, which I didn't even get to get all of it because it filled the container up a second time. So that's where all this spice came from. It's a whole lot of talking for whatever reasons. We're going to dump all this stuff over. I put mine on circuit 4, and this is the only box that's on circuit 4. And you'll see it was quite busy. Thank God I got this residue right. This is one of those neat things when you first start coming across it. Like if you go into Sentinel City, there is a machine that's running, and it's got a little bit of spice sand, and not melange, but a little bit of spice sand and a little bit of residue. And you pick it up and you're like, oh man, I got spice residue, I can make filters. And then you get to this point where you're like, cool, I got spice residue. Cool. I have left thousands of this laying on the sand just to clear. Like I had a full container, medium storage container, this size, of spice residue. So I was like, dude, this has to end. Oh man. So let's pull these down because I'd like to have that extra room. I think I processed everything. I think there's enough in here. Yeah, there's not enough in here to make another batch. And the crawler should be empty, and I did go and take out everything. Yeah, everything's clear. Alright, so we're good. We're good. And I've got 3 batches still being made, so hooray. My advice, if you're... Okay, alright, we're going to have to... You're going to get kind of a preview. This is what one of the videos is talking about. We're gamers, we like to complain. And I see a lot of complaints about, and I've experienced this as well, too many people on a spice field. And people not knowing basics, not knowing the etiquette type thing of it. So let's talk about that. So first thing that I want to point out is there really isn't an official etiquette. Just like PvP, which is free for all Wild West, so is spice gathering. Um, there's nothing to prevent too many people on a field, except the fact that a worm's going to come. And it's just, if you could see it, you can land on there and try to take it. And especially in PvE now, there's no way to voice your displeasure with somebody. Um, and I would imagine that there are a lot of players who, like me, I built my crawler and my carrier I, solely for the purpose of the achievement for making machinery. And then I just parked them both and really didn't use them. I actually, hi, made an appearance. I used my carrier to take my buggy into the Haggard Rift to get ethereorite to make a bunch of cobalt paste. But I never used it for spice, and it took quite a while before I finally did start using it. So I think there's a lot of players who maybe built it for the achievement, haven't used it. Built it because they wanted one, haven't used it. Weren't willing to risk it on a large field in PvP. So you have a lot of people coming out who this might be their first time. Or they don't have a lot of experience doing sand crawling. You also have a lot of people who are working towards getting a carrier and a crawler. And they're excited because they've been living off of Haga fields forever. Um, they might have been going out to the deep desert, but being a shortened area, it's usually pretty crowded even there. So now they're getting to experience the joy of large fields for the first time. So they don't know some of the nuances and some of the finer points, like the difference between a sand crawler and a sand crawler with dampened treads. Um, they don't realize that what you used to do, a guy who drives a carrier for a crawler for me, and I'll do a lot of solo farming or in groups. The worst thing I could ever see on a large spice field is somebody coming in with an assault. And that seems to be the way to go because it's got the most storage. So you bring your salt down, you bring out your compactor, and away you go. Questions I have on that is, what compactor are you using? Have you put any skills towards a reduced worm threat? Are you wearing soft step boots? Are you being a little sensible about your compacting, or do you just land on the ground and dump, 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 fire off as many shots as you possibly can until the worm aggroes, and then you jump in, fly up in the air, drop back down, pick them up? Because that really endangers the other people who are crawling, because it's so much more effort to get a crawler under the sand, especially solo crawling. Um, and I don't particularly like it when other people risk my equipment. But I can sympathize with them and see where they are, at least in their journey. Then there are also the people who know this kind of stuff and they just don't care. You know, they see three people on the field already and be like, sweet, I'm going to be number 4. Be like, yeah, you get too many people here, Grandpappy comes and takes the field away from all of us. But what I have noticed as far as solo crawling is kind of the same thing that was my existence prior to this split. That was medium fields. I never had a single intruder on any of them. I hit probably 6 or 7 medium fields, completely got them, completely harvested them. Yeah, it took a little extra time, but I guarantee you it took less time than it does for me to get them on a large field now because there's so many people there. Um, but yeah, those medium fields were just a joy. I just plopped down, nobody risking my stuff. And in fact, there was another guy who was harvesting a. This is so. I think, yes, I know, Kitty. This might be mean. I don't know. It's not really mean, but it is mean. There was another guy with a crawler hitting another field. So I would just kind of sit there and I would stay in the air and I would wait for him to land and I would let him start to crawl. And then I would go down and land myself because every time that happened, the worm aggroed on him. So I did get the notification and I still would pop up into the air, but it always went over to him. And I appreciated the safety Because I've done this a lot, but bad things sometimes happen. So having somebody else drawing all the attention away from me was just a gold mine. That was the best field I did the whole day. Uh, oh, Rico, you're talking a whole lot. Holy cow. Hold on, let me get caught up here. Man, is it dull. Talking about doing some PvP. Here's an issue that I see with this PvE PvP split. And maybe they have a plan for this. So maybe I'm just talking from like, my set in my ways, old school type thing. When I first started playing this game, plastanium, like titanium, stravidium, and spice were a scarce resource. Not easy to get. The only way that you could get high amounts of them was to be in a guild and work as a group. And even then, you're splitting it up. But most of the guilds had like a guild amount that you could pull from, and if you were out there helping people gather it, you kind of had a bit of it that you could get yourself. Now, just how much do I want? That's the only limit. How much do you want to get? Because there's ways now to go out and get ridiculous amounts, and it kind of, is the right word, cheapens, kind of cheapens them. I mean, that might be because they're going to push us more towards like the Regis components and those patterns and the graded gear and stuff like that. You still need titanium, or you still need plastanium to make them and stuff like that, but still. And that actually isn't uncommon for a very valuable resource in an early phase of the game to be phased out to, where you're like, oh man, I remember when I needed tons of this stuff. And then now it's just not being used anymore. But I haven't seen or heard of any plan of a new material. Like with this chapter 4 coming out where we're going to the polar caps. Water wars. There's bases with millions of milliliters of storage. For being a completely desert planet, water sure is freaking plentiful. I digress though. But yeah, so here's a great example of this. I have complained often that I seem to have no luck with titanium. When I have the planned routes from this area where I build this base, I go here. I know you can see there's some titanium way over there, and there's some titanium right up there. I would usually come out and go up this mountain and go around it and down, and when I come back, I always had more stravidium than I had titanium. And it's always been my weak point, or my weakness, that I just always have it. And here's a great example. Let's go over here to this box and see what's in it. What do you think's in there? This is actually the overflow box I have set up for this. And it's got some fuel cells and a whole bunch of stravidium. Like over 1,000 stravidium. And here is how much titanium I have. By the way, I could make a whole bunch more fibers and already have. This has always been my problem. I have way more stravidium. The solution to that would be to go out to Titanium Island. Out in the deep desert on the PvP side, there's an island with just nodes and nodes and nodes and nodes of titanium. So that was the solution. But I never did it because it was the PvP side. I could get attacked And although I have guildmates, I wouldn't be like, guys, can you come protect me while I grab this? It wasn't high on the priority list, just even as far as I'm concerned. So the only option I would have, while still maintaining a certain level of safety, would be to drive around all of this area here and only snag um, these. The word will come, titanium nodes. But there aren't a whole lot. Well, now we have a PvE desert. And there's an island out there with a whole bunch of titanium on it. So we are going to go get a bunch of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this stuff in a box because I don't need to be carrying that around. But we are going to use our welding torch. This is extra stuff, sure. Boop, 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 boop. We're going to do this. We're going to use our welding torch to break our buggy down. The reason we're doing that is because we are going to put all of these components into our storage container. Then we're going to grab our carrier, pick up the storage container, and take it out to the titanium island, where we will reassemble the vehicle, drive around, and mine buttloads of titanium ore and stick it in the container. When we're done, we'll break this thing back down, stick it in the container as well, and fly everything back home. The only potential problem is that we run out of fuel cells if we're dumb, and if we get hit by a really bad storm if we're unlucky. But this will solve our outrunning, being outran by Stravidium. It's going to solve it. Which seems like that's a good thing, right? Because this is a problem I've had for a long time. But much like, come on, dude. Much like a dog who chases cars. Oh, I don't know what to do with it once I found it. Once I don't have this problem anymore, where am I? Hi, kitty. Why are you wet? What did you get into? I hope that's dog spit. No, he's up here sleeping. Oh. It better be from the water fountain. Somebody about to get kicked out of this room. Oh, before we go running off, like I said, I want to bring a bunch of fuel cells. Right here, right? Sure, why not? So we're going to drop everything in here. I've got 4 fuel cells, but we're going to bring more. I don't think it's possible to have too many fuel cells. Sometimes it's surprising just how much fuel that carrier is going to use. I went out this morning with 8 fuel cells after filling everything up. So I fill everything up here, and then I had 8 full large cells on me. And when I got back, this was okay, but my carrier was probably a little less than 20%, and I'd used everything I had. But then again, I hit a bunch of cells, medium fields, so it makes sense. But yeah, I went out and got some of these earlier because I used all of them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to craft. We're going to do 20. And since I'm making the same thing that I use as my placeholder, so everything gets dumped into that box, I'm going to go ahead and take these right now, and it can replace them as we go. So now, look at that. This one's used. Let's not count this. So we're going out there with 13 fuel cells. A ridiculous amount, but it'll be okay. Did I dump it into the carrier, or did I leave this in the box? I left it in the box. So I've got my cargo container, which is completely empty. We are going to drop my bug in there. I'll go ahead and carry the fuel cells. And since I'm not planning on doing any fighting, we're going to equip still suit. The reason I do a still suit is because it's one less thing to worry about. I've got all that extra water plus all that water there. I tend to stand around in the sun far too much, like an idiot. So we're going to fill our containers. We got 13 fuel cells. We are ready to rock. This I just fixed everything. We're good to go. We'll grab this, and then we got to swing this way, otherwise it pulls us down. And we're forgetting one thing. That is another great rule for being out in the deep desert, and that is to always have a backup in your pocket. I think this is wrong. I don't think we should be able to put vehicles like that. I think we should be able to put a treadwheel or a sand bike in our pocket, and that's it. I don't think we should be able to do it with Thopters. But since we can, we will. Why did I do that? Let's say something bad happens. I can pull that thing out and we can at least get back to base. So make sure you've always got fuel cells on you. And make sure that you also have a ornithopter in your scan gun. Even if you end up having like a sand bike, at least it's something. Have a second way to get out of there. You can get up onto this shield wall from the base sand if you know where to go. No problem. You might think that I should also make sure that I have welding wire, which I usually carry a lot of. This one not so much, because as long as I have this guy here, my cut array, I can make tons of this. There is always salvage metal laying around, and that's the only other thing besides time that you need in order to make welding wire. As long as you're alive somewhere, then you've got yourself plenty of welding wire. So we're going to go to the deep desert map here, because I haven't been out there, so I don't know where it is. There's 2 Stravidiums. So titanium is in G8. And we're going to go visit. So like I said, I was in the PvP section, so we're just going to come out. And I'm going to go over here, because G8 is going to be on this side. And now we will go into PvP section. PvE section. Why not PvP since I was already there? Because I'm by myself. If you ever get into scrap with people, me personally, say I'm out there alone, and 3 people fly up on me, and I say, hey, you know, let's one-on-one this. And we'll fight one at a time, and they say, sure, great. If they don't, and all 3 of them attack me, it's the name of the game. Personally, unless requested, I won't give up an advantage. If I'm out there with 2 of my friends, and I see you by yourself, and we're going to end up fighting for whatever reason, is what it is, you know? That being said, I remember lots of matches in like Iron Banner and the Crucible when I played Destiny, where when we were fighting as a clan and we would start dominating the match pretty early, people would start leaving. And whenever we would get to that point where there's like only 3 guys left on the other team because it hasn't infilled anybody, I would just kind of hang back. Right? There's no fun in that for me. So I would just sit back, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna every time. Why would they give up an advantage? Let's see. What do we think it's gonna be? Probably this. The only large enough island to house a bunch of materials. So, how close were we? It's pretty good, man. There we go. So we're in auto fly mode, and that's fine with me. We're going to go out there. There's probably some sieges. There's probably some sub beefs built on this island already, and there may not be anything on it if people are actively grabbing that. To keep our fingers crossed that they aren't. Alright, so I know where I'm going now, so we can go back to this. Seventh tier. They hinted it would be an end of the year thing at minimum. I'm not trying to be that guy, but if they say it's going to be end of the year, that means it's going to be next year. Doldrums after you resolve your immediate resource issues. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there are certain things that are going to require a large amount of resources. Like, for instance, as you progress through these skill specializations, these cost me like 35. Yeah, these are 35 each. This one's 40. So that's a lot of spice. And even though this is only like, well, it's only like 150, dude. Yeah, but there's 5 of these things, and I've been paying prices all the way up. So you're going to use spice. And if you're building things, oh, look at that. It's another reason why our fuel goes away. Came back just in time. It was at 750. If you're building things, that first time you run through and you have to build stuff, it's pricey. If you take care of your equipment and you're not risking it at all, really, you can keep things for a long time. I know that a lot of people don't like the durability loss, but I mean, I've had stuff forever. And that was before I could craft it at a higher durability than it currently, the 100 was. So, I mean, I get it, but really, not trying to be mean. Unless you're in a guild and have some group activities like PvP. DVD Overland Dungeons. The Overland Dungeons at the difficulty level they are now, if you're trying to do the higher ones in order to get the more awesome gear, you're going to start going through some materials because the durability loss from failing, which is inevitable, getting killed, is very high. If you're out in the deep desert doing PvP, you would think that you would need a lot of materials to replace the things that you lose, but since they did the vehicle recovery tool, it's just some Solari and some durability, so just let it roll. And the fact that we can craft at higher durabilities now also takes away some of that. This was the field that the storm hit and made all the spice go away. Made me sad. I just found it. I was bugged. I've experienced this several times. It's where you come up and you can see like people have harvested from it, and then the field will reset, and I've actually had it reset right in front of me, so I see the big explosion and everything, and it retains the old pattern of harvesting. So the only way I knew where I'd been and where spice still was I, instead of going 10 or under in order to get everything in a single swipe, I was going fast because it would recreate that pattern of you missed this stuff behind me, and that's how I could tell. Silly, but yeah, that's happened multiple times to me. I was actually harvesting a field with a friend, and I was like, dude, is this like a clean field to you, or do you see harvest things? He's like, no, it looks normal to me. Like, it just blew. I'm like, awesome. Alright, so we are 2K out. Like, this one right here in front of us is going to be our winner, right? Yeah. So this, supposedly, I haven't been here yet, so let's not get too crazy when we talk. This is supposed to be Titanium Island. There should be loads of nodes. That's funny. It's about time I made a rhyme. There should be a whole bunch of titanium nodes on this island. I would expect bases to start populating. Don't know why they haven't. There's one. There's two. And there they are. So we got a whole bunch of nodes. Look at them all. As soon as I turn the autofly off, come on, pull up. Look at all of them, right? It's a ridiculous amount. So what I need to do is I need to find a safe place to park this bad boy. And then we're going to go grab all these. Park it over there. Wonder if they would get mad. Are there pentashields on this, or is it just... Got cat hair on my face. I'm a little sketchy about putting stuff in other people's bases and things, even though that's what that looks like it's for. It kind of looks like they just made an open garage. My concern would be that somewhere there is a sub-thief with power. There is a sub-thief, it's right there in front. And if these, they have a generator or anything, they could pop a, turn the power on, and all of a sudden my stuff is locked behind doors I can't get to. So I might be being a little too safe, but we'll be okay. I think the storms are going to be beneficial to us, right? We're not going to have problems. Normally, you would want to have a small base or something built here, like these guys have done, so you could just drive around and collect this stuff. But we don't have that. It's going to make transferring from the buggy to this guy a pain in the butt. Seriously, is what it is, though. I currently have 3 active bases, so I can't build another one out here. Good cat hair. Okay. So we're going to pull this out, and we're going to put it right away because we need to come in here. And let's see. We're going to dump all these fuel cells in there. Except for that one. And we got our pants. I guess it makes sense. The reason we're going to do that is because those fuel cells are more for the carrier than they are for us right now. And we need one in order to make sure that we can power the buggy once we pull all this stuff out. So I'm going to grab all the components. Hopefully I can hold them all. I can. And we'll go ahead and grab another power cell. Why not? And for right now, these guys are going to stay. If you leave this sucker laying out, you want to make sure that you got enough. Like it's in good shape. If it's not, look elsewhere. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so we've made our buggy. It's the it's our buggy, but it's the cool. It's the Chome one. We can't do that, right? I mean, I'm not gonna take the time to put a swatch on just for something I'm gonna disassemble here in just a second. Yeah, we are. Of course we are. We are not savages. And now we are going to refuel. That was the broken one that we had, so let's put the full one in. We're good to go. So now, as you can see, this thing is completely empty. We've got 3,500 worth of space. Let's go fill it. I got some of the little bonus things, so I can get 200 every time I hit one of these little nodes. We're just going to drive around. Now, normally, this would be a parked racing scenario because this area would solidly be in PvP. I have been attacked while doing this in previous attempts, but that's not going to happen now. The worst thing that's going to happen now is somebody's going to come along and run into me because they're mad because I'm taking all the titanium and they want it. Oh, can we do it? Oh, thank you. Not only is this island full of these things, but these little... Oh, look at this little sneaky bastard. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? Went too far in. That'd be a good little spot to hide from a storm. Have to remember that if we have to. The little islands on the outside are usually chock full. As you can see, there's a bunch here. Normally when I do this, I will take the time to work my way up to nodes like this one up here. But I'm not going to do that now. We don't really have to. There's going to be sufficient ones all array around on the ground. Who am I kidding? Of course we're going to go get these. Think we can? Come on, baby. Oh! That's too far, isn't it? I think if we turn around, we might be able to get it. This is risky too, because this is how you get your buggy eaten by the desert. But it worked out for us, right? Hey, this is also how you get it killed by the desert. We're not done with that area behind. I just saw this. I want to make sure I grab that one. So we rank our total so far. We just started. Now I know in the deep desert I could be doing this and I would be getting double in the PvP one. I would be getting double amounts. So instead of 200, I'd be getting 4, which would make this whole process go a lot faster. But I could sit here and talk with you guys. I don't even have to look. I could just go ahead and start mining without paying any attention whatsoever. That should hit. It's garbage. Which honestly is kind of worth it to me. The 2.5 is not enough of a draw. Spice, different story. These materials, nah, I'll come here and get them. We'll be safe, I'll be singing, maybe even put some music on. Worm sign, no possibility of getting 8. Go ahead and move. There we are. So we will come here. Let's split this way down. We should be able to take it and take that, and that should give us just a little bit more. But I know we're really close, so I'm not going to bother doing that again. And now we're heading back to the ship. Barely covered this thing. I mean, we just kind of got the stuff here and on that little outcropping, and we're already full. Unfortunately, because we don't have a base, we got to do this the hard way. Yeah, there's spice out there. The hard way is you come over to this thing, and I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and because I'm that way. You know what? No, we'll just do this. And we'll sort it by alphabetical. Fuel cell. There you go. Okay, so we got titanium here. I'm going to go ahead and move both of these over. I'll show you why. Because we are going to try to do as quickly as possible transfers of these things. We're going to hit that button, and that fills us up. And then we come over here, and we do a fast transfer. That's the basic process here. Unfortunately, it's going to take us a while. So out of a 500 node, we can only take about 200 at a time. If I wanted to drop all of my gear, I could do it much faster. And then, of course, you know, the times that we jump in it like an idiot. But I don't really want to do that. It would be the smarter thing to do. But I got 2 hours. So we'll just do it this way. I don't know how much time it's going to require to do this entire island. There's more spice out there. That's really close. Man, that's really close. Is there a large field over there? No. So that's just a medium. Okay, that's not good. There's no way that should hit us, though. I don't believe ships can crash onto islands. But it's, boy, it's coming right down, and there's that. There we go. I think the explosion got some clearance. So that was most likely a medium we saw off in the distance. And that's a medium that just went off. So that's good. Did it again, man. Yeah. Alright. If we had a base, we could just drop this into all of that. Doing it this way, I don't have a drop box. So I don't have anything but my backpack to select this from. That's where the problem comes from. At least dumping it back in is quick. But this is already more titanium than I usually would ever have. And yes, I'm going to try to clear this island. We have a base over on the Stravidium island, so we can get that. But unfortunately, that's not what I need, so. This is not ideal, but it's actually okay because I get tired of it just at the moment where it's done. And then going out and getting more kind of eases the suffering a little. I could move closer. Let's do that. There we go. So now I should be able to just hit F, do this, hit E, clear, and turn F. So we took the running out of it. The only bad thing about this is gotta hit that escape key. So we're moving our hands, otherwise there wouldn't be anything required from us. At least this is teaching me how to properly, you know, not jump in it. I almost did. I literally just said it's teaching me not to do that and then almost did it. Okay, so we've just been picking it up. It doesn't matter. We're just grabbing it from wherever. We got 2 more times of this. This one's going to get us close. Yep. And then last time. Okay. So we do this, and now let's take a look at it, right? So we've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So 4,000 titanium right now. It's probably the most I've ever had at any given moment was this amount. And we're just now starting this. So glad to see casual players finally able to enjoy the Deep Desert. It's a hardcore PvP part of the Zerg and all. Seeing me solo struggle is making me sad. You know what? Uh, I agree with you, man. I'm not a griefer. I've never have been. Um, if you want to fight with me, like you want to do PvP, we're we're gonna do it. I'm not an ambusher, although it's completely lore accurate, and I don't get mad at people when they do it to me. Um, I'm gonna start honestly. I'm gonna start setting up ambushes just to see if I can do it actually. But I don't ever want to be a reason for a person to stop playing a game. That's horrible for me. If they're enjoying their time here, have at it, man. You know, good on you. And if I don't think we're alone, or I'm hearing things. I don't know what whispering. Not everybody's at the same place that you are. Some people don't have a buddy that can help them out. Some people don't know what to do. Some people haven't gotten there yet. So it's good to see them have the opportunity to get where they need to go. And because I'm an old guy, it gives me the opportunity to look at like new players and be like, "Oh, back in my day, we had to actually work for our plastanium, titanium. You couldn't just go to a desert where no one was shooting at you." We went out to get spice one time and 6 of us died. We've never died. Big old bloom. I'll get that one later. So I am happy for the players that get to experience some of the stuff they never did before. I just hope that they watch my content and start learning some of the finer things, the finer spicing. That's what the video is about. But what I do is, like, number one, understand that there's only a certain amount of people that can be on a field. Otherwise, the field's going to reset. I know you want spice, but you got there too late. Sometimes that happens. I actually saw a large field below and was like, cool. And me and a friend started harvesting it. And then all sorts of people started showing up. And it got to the point where by the time we landed and started driving forward, worm sign. So we're back up in the air. And it just got ridiculous and it's not worth our time. So, you know, a little bit of consideration for your fellow player is a good thing. I know it's exciting and you're finally getting the first bulk spice that you've ever had, but there are some rules. So let's not crowd fields. If you're in a crawler, we are not savages. You need to do a good job. I don't care if you want to do circles, lines, triangles. I don't care as long as you're getting all the spice. Do not leave it on the ground. That is wasteful, and we don't do that here. No griefing in the PvE areas, folks. That is a huge no-no. We all have been given spaces to do the things we like, and the things we want to do. If you can't find somebody that does the stuff you do, that is not everybody else's fault. Large fields should be for crawlers. Just because they have... don't fall in... Oh, what are you doing? Okay, cool. Yeah, large fields should be for people with crawlers. Because they have a piece of machinery that can get so much. I know that... oop, look at that. I know that you want to hit the big spice fields because it's legendary and it's awesome and it's the coolest thing in the world to do. But it's not for you. I don't know why I'm hearing certain sound effects. It shouldn't be happening. Um, but yeah, the small spice fields in Haga, they were for everybody, you know. The medium fields, that's where you should be with your assault. And then the large fields should be the guys with crawlers. And if we can do that, everybody will get along and be so happy. Coming from a guy who spent his whole morning doing the medium spice fields. That's because the little guys aren't being little guys anymore. Okay, drop you in. So I lied. That was not enough time for me to forget how terrible this is, and I am maybe like 10% cooldown and already back here. That is terrible. Oh, by the time I come back, everything will be okay. I won't have forgotten about it. Freaking liar. And we're back inside, because that's what we do. Yeah, I totally lied to you guys. This is horrible. Why is it horrible? It's no big deal. I mean, so I'm sitting here pushing buttons. Guess what I do in this game? That's what I do in this game, is just sit here and push button after button. So why am I crying? I'm garbage. I am wholesale garbage. Here I am getting more titanium than I've ever had. I'm live talking to you guys, and here I am crying. I have to push too many... Funcom, I have to push too many buttons. Gotta keep my hand on the keys. I look down because I'm always making sure that I'm actually pushing the right thing, because right there I had this little mental thing where I wasn't sure if I was touching E, like I was there, or if I was touching F, like I should be right there. We're getting there. I bet I could do this super fast. You know what? Mrs. Rabbit gets home, I'm gonna be like, hey, you need to hit these keys. You're playing Dune now. She'll love that. She'll totally do that. She won't do that at all. I am getting tired of the sound. I don't know how well you guys can hear that. This sound. It's like, bro, I know. Purposefully filling up the inventory. How it's gonna be, huh? We might have to unload some of this stuff just to make some space. Okay. Boop. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,080. On a previous high of about 4,000 or so. I think I might be lying to you guys again. I might have hit 6 at one point. But, can we do it? Can we do it? Come on. Oh, there you go. That's what I'm talking about, little one. We'll make it through here. Hello. In the event that, let's say, somebody showed up from here, I would roll out, you know? I've gotten a ton of this item. Oh, can we do this? Oh, look at that. Family. I've gotten a ton of this item already. So if somebody else wanted some, I would concede that and be like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I've gotten so much. But I don't see anybody, so it's all mine. This is, look at it. Let's just take a moment. It's indescribably beautiful. And a little emotional here. There's a storm coming. I have not gotten a warning. Hopefully that means that this storm is going to bypass us. Which, if it does, will be great, because it'll be a while before another one comes that may actually hit us. Or it could just be that the lady is slacking off. Pretty sure that one's going to skip us. This is on my server. It is this island right here in G8. You come in from the right-hand side and go almost directly north. Wow, that is horrible. And this is G8. Basically referred to as Titanium Island. It does rotate from week to week. This week, these will always be here. And once you harvest them, it'll take a little while, but they will come back. Oh, come on. We just got it. Okay, good. Alright, so we went there. I wonder... I believe that's too far off. See how close that one is, and the same thing on that side over there. I believe that's too far, and it probably, I mean, it might have some materials on it, but it's not going to be like what we're experiencing here. But I'll tell you what we will do. We will find out. Looks like we should go here. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure that that is not going to be part of this outcropping. Titanium. The F1, F2 controls for the buggy seat arrangements was beautiful. That was such a great improvement. Especially when you're mining something in this type of quantity with so much of it. It's handy in Haga or like on the shield wall type thing, but it's almost a requirement here. All right, let's do this again. Wonder how far that puts us. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could fill up this last little 40 volume. These guys are pretty much quantity. I get the hiccups. Quantity versus volume. So 40 pieces of titanium is 36 volume. So basically 9 for each one of them. I need 40. It'd be 36. Yeah, that's rough. So I'd be pulling about 40, which means I'm only going to pull maybe a quarter from this thing. And I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to come back here. There is at least one titanium node on that island. Maybe it is part of this whole thing. We'll find out. I'm going to come back here and get this. But in the event that I didn't, I don't know. It's just kind of a douchey thing to do to somebody where they're coming out here and they hit that. And it's like, oh, somebody already took a whole bunch out of it. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. I just don't like being that way. So I'm not gonna. Come on, make the turn. Alright, so this is the first area that we were at. And nothing's respawned yet, so it's a good primer that we still got some time. Easy. He's going after that crash ship, but... Man, that crashed ship did not have a whole lot of time before they came to take it. Alright. So let's see if we can do this better now. Boop. Nope. Already we're screwing that up. It didn't land very far away, did it? I mean, it was coming down right on top of us, so I guess that makes sense. I haven't played in a year, so I'm out of touch. Hey. So Elijah Northman, you're asking about whether or not I would set up something in the deep desert. I have always kind of been a proponent of doing that versus ferrying things back and forth. The reason is, when you take titanium and stravidium and make a plastone or plastanium ingot, it's going to be lighter and less volume than the raw materials will be. The only problem is you've got to have the machinery out there and you got to be able to produce water. If you can do those two things, you'll be able to get more materials transferred back and forth per trip because you're doing the finished product. It does require an investment. You have to build a base, you have to build water, you have to build, things. And it makes sense if, as long as you're able to dedicate the time to being out here. You don't want to build a base out in the deep desert and then only play like one day while you're out here, because you're just kind of wasting your effort. If you're saying like, I'm gonna play a couple hours, maybe, sorry, maybe 2 hours every day, 5 days of the week, it'd be better to build out here. Even though you're losing that 1 hour it takes to build the thing to get it started, because build your base, get your water producing, get the energy, get everything lined out, then you can go out, start gathering materials, maybe bring it back and produce what little bit you can, take the rest of it as a ferry back and forth, even though we're not trying to do that. But once you get a base rolling, you're really going to start banking the materials. Especially spice. Spice is very heavy. As, who said it? Sorry. I want to give credit. Obsidian. Am I saying it right? I hope I am. It's kind of like obsidian, but not really. As he points out, though, since they made this big guy, and it can hold so much, if you have a place where you can put this, it's better to go out, get the materials. Oh, kind of like what I'm doing right here. I took the buggy apart, stuck it in here, brought it to the area I need it to be. Gonna fill this thing completely up. Actually, I gotta be careful. I gotta make sure I have enough space somewhere to put the buggy when I tear it down. And then I'll take this back to a place that I already have available for processing. Because of this container, it kind of skews things. What this does is, for those moments where you're only going to be out here, like say you only got a couple hours the whole weekend to play, bring your cargo container out, fill it, take the stuff back, turn it on that way. Don't spend your time building a base. But let's say, like, with me, with Mrs. Rabbit, she's, if I know that she's working a couple clothing shifts and I'm going to have way more time to sit here and play, and she doesn't mess with me. So even if I can't, she actually likes it when I'm leaving her alone. She's a book reader. If you're a gamer, guys or girls, find a partner that's a book reader, and you'll get along great. But anyway, no matching items, yes, of course. If you're only going to be able to spend a little bit of time, this is the way to go. What I'm doing here, even though it looks like I'm kind of wasting time, it's fine. I wouldn't build a base out. I would just rely on your container. But if you don't have a container, that's what you want to work towards. This is horrible. If I had a base here, instead of doing this back and forth, again, I realize I'm being a whiny bitch. This isn't that bad. It's just a lot of repetitive motion that I'm not thinking about. I could just drop it in, open up a box and pull everything over, and it'd be done in a fraction of the time. But I'd have to have a base out here, to have a sub beef available, and a base to build around it. Then I start doing this, where I'm not focusing on what I'm doing. Then we'll get like awesome transfers like this right here, like we're on a roll, and I'm like feeling good about myself, and then I'll do something stupid. Like that. I was actually thinking in my head, don't do something stupid. Try not to be dumb as much as possible, since you just said it. And then immediately I do it. What I'm doing, in case you're wondering if you're not familiar with this, so I've got all of the titanium in the buggy. I've got to get it into here. There's already titanium in this, so that quick deposit, if I hit F and just tap it, it says no matching items, because there's nothing in the container that I have in my backpack. So what I do is I open up the inventory here, I hit the more and hold the F key, go up to inventory. And then I'm just going to bring over as much of this as I can hold in my backpack. So we'll hit E, and it brought over all but 20. I filled it up. I exit out of that, I come over here, I tap F, and now that 198 titanium just went in. I don't have to access the inventory of the destination. If I did, and we open this up, I can actually reverse this process. And I can bring over 1. So now I've got 1 inside my backpack. If I do this, oh no, you know what? Because now it's just going to put that 1 back into the vehicle. I can't bring it over. So you can only deposit, quick deposit type thing. So we hold F, go up to inventory, E, E, E until it's full. Get out of here, tap F, puts all 198 into it. Repeat the process. And then I get ahead of myself and I do what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm here instead of doing it right there. There we go. It's worth looking at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12,116. And we're getting close. I'm at about 11,000. As you can see, this is getting up here. We're going to make one more run, put it all in here, and then we're going to call it at that. So let's get in here. Fuel-wise, we're doing outstanding. I committed to going out to that little island. Don't you fall. I was just kind of basically yapping, but now I'm curious myself. So we're going to head that way. Actually, let's go out in the sand. Because of these guys. I just saw the shiny silver part there real quick. Oop. So this is about to be the only real dangerous part of this entire, oh, hi. This entire little endeavor here. As we cross the sands to that, pretty sure that will put us with some worm sign. We'll be drawing some aggro, but I'm not concerned. We'll be able to get across there pretty quick. Alright, let's go see what's over here. Yep, there was some worm sign. There is at least 1 titanium. Boy, he's close too. But this, I don't believe, is part of that structure. If it was, there would be a bunch more here. Tire tracks, but they ain't mine. check the backside. As long as we stay close, we shouldn't get any unwanted visitors. Not the little outcroppings. Nice. Hello. Sneaky little bugger. Oh, we're gonna get it. Nice. Alright, now we'll just zip on back over here. And let's go. We stopped right up there. I guess we just didn't invest in getting that one. That island is close enough to be part of this group. I think we went around it, but we didn't bother to do the mountain climbing on that one. And I kind of don't want to do it now, since we know we're getting close to the end of this little foray. How do we get another ship? Can't. Yep. Why are these ships coming down here, and why do they always look like they're gonna... That would be great if after all this it lands on my carrier. I would be furious, but I would also laugh. No, I wouldn't laugh, actually. I would. It would be that crazy maniacal jump out the window kind of laughing, but... I think we're about done. We did that area up there. Got this guy out here. Oh, there's some down there too. Now, what would be super fun is with the guild, people could be like, oh, we need to get plastanium. We need a bunch of titanium, guys. So, like, I could be doing this. There could be somebody else with another buggy doing this, and we could have people just taking carriers back to the mega base if we really got that crazy about it. I mean, you could see the damage I'm doing just with little old me. I believe that's it. We got up there, we got over this. So now the only thing to do would be to wait and see if it respawns. Eventually they will. It'll just take some time. We might do a couple laps around and see if maybe we miss some, like this little guy over here. There's one up there. Might be a little tricky to get to, but why not? That is, I'm pretty sure, outside of the range. Let's see. How would we go about getting to that guy? We're going to have to drive a huge detour back around the way we kind of came. We'll get him. Yikes. I think if we go up here, I was technically right, but we should probably go on this side. Don't fall, don't fall. Nice. That worked out. Can't drop the gun low enough. We barely hooked that one. And there might be a couple. Yeah, there's another one. I was gonna say there might be a couple more in some crazy spots, but for the most part we have done all we can do here. We did get one extra that was not part of this island. Look at you, sneaky little buggers. And I see another one. There's one behind me I gotta get first. So we're not going to, because we have completely filled up. That is awesome. Bring those over. Now remember how I told you earlier that I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to get a partial. Because I'm leaving, we're not as nice as we were a few minutes ago. So sorry whoever comes out to get that node, but we are going for it. Okay. They're respawning. These were the first ones that we got. So I did kind of dawdle a little bit. If we had a base here, we would be offloading it much, much faster, but we could just start this whole process all over again. The reason I can't is because this inventory here, boop, it's 3,500, and I've only got about 4,000 left. So unfortunately, I mean, these guys, yeah, they got some weight to them, but they don't weigh that much. I mean, this is 450. So it's going to take 90 fuel cells to equal one of these. Not happening. But let's go ahead and we will start working on getting this empty. It's the only thing that disrupts this is the escape key. Come up here and we hit that, and then we hit this. I have to escape. There's no, it's down here, but I don't know if it's worth. Let's try it. Actually, I couldn't see it because the microphone is in the way. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that does kind of help. I could just hit the space bar too. I don't know what that sound was, but it was terrifying. Oh no, I had to hit the escape key. Nope. All right. Getting our rhythm down. We're getting our rhythm down as we're about ready to stop doing it. Hey, look, I'm dying. I've been so excited about all the titanium I get. We're just deciding to die. I guess that's the sounds I was hearing, huh? When things get so thrilling and exciting like this, I forget to look at the old water gauge. Come on. I think it was standing here doing this is what's getting me. I don't believe being in the vehicle was that difficult on my water supplies. I was going to say, I didn't feel like it worked. I almost went for it. Kind of soft keyed it. That time we long pressed by accident. There you have it, folks. We now have a ridiculously large amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16,202 titanium ores. That should solve the we've got so much Stravidium problem. And it only took up 46 slots, too. So now, unfortunately, this guy here does have half a tank of fuel. It's going to go bye-byes. But there are worse things in the world, right? We're going to pull out. Oh, we're going to heal ourselves, apparently. I didn't even know we were hurt. I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to go down to detach, and we'll just start breaking her down. Always make sure you remove the boot before you try to take the back end out. And sometimes it's easier to take those off before you try to go for the PSU. I don't know why she went into a little tuck mode there, but all right. So I've got enough volume in my backpack to carry the whole thing. Last thing I want to do is I want to come up here. I want to get rid of that. And we're going to open this up, and I want to take a couple fuel cells and bring them over just to make sure I have them for the flight over. This one's already been used, so we'll take that. And I'll go ahead and take that one. We got 2 on us. Should be plenty. And now we are up and out of here. There is always at least one of these islands for each material. There's a titanium island, and then there's also a Stravidium island. This week, I think there's 2 Stravidiums. I don't think there's 2 titaniums. Now this creates, because, you know, every time this happens, I always say that's what we're doing. We, Zinglas, how are you? It's good to see you, dude. Every time I do something like this, I always say this, that we just solved the problem. What was the problem? I always have way more Stravidium than I do titanium. Now I have way more titanium than I have Stravidium. Do I want to solve that problem, or do I have enough that it's going to balance itself out? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Another problem is, do I have enough water to turn all of this into plastanium ingots? No. Take a little while. I'm going to have to probably put in some productions and let them sit, build up water again, go back to it, you know. So it's going to take some batches to get this done, obviously. I mean, you can only set it up for so many. But we're going to burn through water, a ton of it. Another issue, as many plastanium ingots as I can make here, do I have room for them? Because I have 4 boxes that I store plastanium in. One of them I think is full, and the other 3 are barely anything in them, which is what drives us to come do this. That's way more titanium than I could ever hope to store. So what do I do with it? I could leave it in a container, but under a usual circumstance, my vehicle layout is that I have a buggy that I use for Deep Desert and for Shoal. I have another buggy, but I took it apart, stuck it in a box, so that doesn't count. So I've got a buggy, I've got my carrier. I usually have an assault. I don't right now, it's still sitting in a box. I will have a thruster thropter and a rocket thopter. And sometimes I even build, we'll go with this finger again, a transport one that has boxes on it, because you can just switch the thrusters off and put the storage on, but who has time for that, my God. So I end up building all of them. So that takes me to 6. I have 2 cargo containers, so now I'm at 8. I have a sand bike, because I use that for some of the Landsrad missions, like the zip around one. Not the Fremen finds, but the Smuggler's Run. That puts me at 9. So I only have 1 possible slot. Oh wait, we've got a sand crawler. So that means that I've got vehicles that I'm going to have to leave apart and in boxes so they don't count towards the 10 vehicles. And I can't make another cargo container to hold all of this stuff. So I've got some things I've got to figure out. Number one, I got to figure out how to get more water. Number two, I need way more storage space than I have. And number three, I need even more storage space because not just the raw materials, but the actual finished product is going to be rough. What I'll probably do is, like I said, right now, I don't have all of the vehicles that I use built. So I have an option. I may build a storage container or I may just leave them all in this one. And we'll pull from there. And then once I get full after making these, once I turn them into plastanium ingots, we'll see where we stand and if I have to make extra storage or not. Don't know. We'll see when we get back to Haga. I'm not going to the base that's over in the PvP side, just because it's not built for this much. And with all the spice that I've been making on it, that did some damage to the water supply over there. I saw some people that have like 8 million storage of water, which is, I mean, I when I first saw that, I was like, that is a ridiculous amount. I'm at like 1.5, I think, in my home base, 1.5 million, and it works really well for me. Doing this kind of stuff, though, it doesn't. And I also think I've got an issue with storage. Number of storage containers. Water and boxes are both considered storage. So the more water tanks you have, that's one out of, I think, the 150 that they let you have. And every box, regardless of what size it is also considered one. So on my monstrosity of a base, I have too many boxes. Now, I've had my buggy over in the PvP base that I'm using. And the only reason I had it there was in case I needed some fuel cells or something silly. Or if I wanted to run around and get some of the nodes that are on the shield wall here. But there's no reason to take the buggy back out there. I've got enough fuel cells to make the rest of the week. I'm not using it out there. Since I'm by myself, that would just be asking for somebody to attack me and blow them up. So I don't want to do that. This is just fine. I don't mind the missing out on that 2.5 multiplier. Honestly, that would be a horrible thing for me because that would mean I'd have to unload it faster. We're not that good at unloading it right now. So we're going to take this back to Haga, park it in the base, then we're going to get an assessment of where we're at. We hit the 2-hour mark, but you know what? We're going to go a little bit longer so we can resolve this, see where we're at. I know I could have hit the thrusters all the way here, but I was just busy talking. Got roughly 12.5k of Stravidium and 12.5k of Jasmium on one cargo container. I think I understand why they do it. I think they should add us a little more vehicles that we can have. The reason I say that is because let's just say you don't replicate anything. You're going to have a sand bike from opening day of the game. A sand bike, one buggy, a scout, an assault, carrier, and a sand crawler. That's 6 vehicles from base. Since then, they've added the tread wheel and they've added the cargo container. So just one of each gets you to 8. So there's really not too many options of replicating things. And if you have most people are going to want to have 2 scouts. They're going to have a rocket scout or a storage scout, and then they're going to have one with thrusters. So That's 9. If they're going to keep adding vehicles, they need to add a vehicle limit. Yes, you could break them apart and just stick them in a box like my assault is right now, but I'm eventually going to want to use it, so I'm going to have to build it. I kind of a big proponent of, if I have set amount of things I can carry and then you start adding more stuff into the game, you got to let me carry a little bit more. I understand that, like, we can't have more lights, more Solidos because of the resources. Okay, but you're telling me a vehicle just sitting there? That's not causing system resources. Come on, baby. Get up. On Monday, we are going to be breaking down our Deep Desert base. We'll get a couple things running. We still have to make a Solido copy of it because I like it. There are a few little changes that I want to make. That's the good thing about a base in this game is it's always going to be kind of an evolving process. Don't ever be afraid to make some changes to it as you grow or as you need to do more things. My first hangar was for my scout. Then I got an assault, and I was like, oh, I need to kind of make it a little bit bigger. And then I got a carrier, and I was like, wow, I need to make it way bigger. Boop. Swing it off to the side there. Don't be afraid to make changes and add to it as you need it. So there are a couple things for that Deep Desert base that I want to make some changes to. I kind of am doing the same thing out there as I just did here, where I swing my cargo container to the side. I want to actually make a dedicated little spot that doesn't require me to swing around or do crazy stuff. So I want to do that. I want to change the roof pattern a little bit because I didn't used to use spice generators. Now I am, and I'm pretty overpowered. I do want to make more death stills if I'm going to be using the bodies, especially with coming up. I've got that body compression skill getting ready to be opened. But okay, anyway, so let's take a look at this. So here's my Stravidium masses, right? I got 2300 volume in there. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get about 4700 or something like that. And Stravidium fibers I have on a different floor, but if I open up plastanium, I've got 670 fibers already made and 4,000 things to do. And here I've got 4,407 titanium ore currently in this base. They should be in here, which is full already. And that's the only 2 storage boxes I've got titanium, because it just is never an issue. I have this plastanium box. It is not full. I thought it was, but it's not. I guess, you know what? I probably took a bunch of these to build the Deep Desert base, so they'll come back, but I'm not going to use them because they're for the Deep Desert base. I got box number 2, which has very little in it. Box number 3, which has 1,000, and box number 4, which has titanium ore that I guess was held over. Unfortunately, I can't put them in there. But what we can do, we can come over here. It's the only thing I have. 123. Is that going to work? Oh, yeah, that'll work. So we put that in there. And this goes here in the duraluminum ingot box, which is also empty. Somebody needs to go get himself some gasmium. That's what we're missing. And we're going to go ahead and start this. As you can see, I got 1.5 million in water. That pretty much maxes me out. I can only do 670. which doesn't do a complete damage, but I've got to get that running too. Let's see. I took a chunk of it. This is probably still in here. Nope, took that. Okay, good. All right, so let's see how much of this cargo container we can empty. It's 500, 1,000, 15, 2,000, about 2,100 that we were able to empty. And we got 15,000. We could put them in here because until we start making more, this box is going to stay empty. So will box number 3. But it's not going to make that much of a difference here because, while we're looking at it, it's 500 volume for a stack of 500. These guys come out to be 1 volume per item. And you can close, thank you. These guys, you need 3 in order to make 1 fiber, in order to make 1 plastanium. 3 of them are 1.5. And, oh, sorry, you need 4 of these. Boop. 4 of these guys are 3.6. So you need roughly 5 volume to make 1 plastanium ingot that, once refined, is 1 volume. That's where you win as far as varying finished materials versus raw materials. But once you have a cargo container and you can bring back 14,000 of something, doesn't matter. We have to go upstairs right now, though, and we have to make as many fibers as we possibly can. So that's full. And I don't have too many places to put that, but I think I could put it in the cargo container. Yeah, awesome. It's just for now. Stravidium fibers, we can make 1,000. Get it done. I did hit the island, only 1 run for Stravidium earlier today, and brought that back to the Deep Desert base. So we've still got a ton of Stravidium out there to bring back. Okay, so that's actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. It is empty in it. Because this guy, which is box number 1, if I can click on it, there it is. Box number 1, I've got some space. So we'll go ahead and put some of the raw ingots in here as well. I don't think that's going to empty it, but it's going to get kind of close. That'll be fine. What we can do is wait until this is done and load up another 1,000. 999 or whatever it allows me to do once we get through there, and we can go ahead and probably get that container emptied. We'll see how much it makes. I'm gonna leave this in here and get an actual count of how much plastanium I have right now, and then how much it is. I'll tell you Monday how much we end up at. But yeah, fun times. What are we at with water? So I was at 1.588, and I am now at 652,000. So we used almost 1 million water very, very quickly. We got a ton more stuffs to do. Uh-oh. Let me show you this. Yeah, we're not loaded up for it. And why that also is another problem. Let's just say I'm going to build right here. Oh, nope. There we go. If I switch over here to storage and go to build a box, I am at 107 out of 150. So technically, it's not that bad of a problem. I've still got 40 more storage things I can put. I should probably put in more tanks. Maybe another 10, maybe another 20. That'll give me a million each if I'm doing the super awesome tanks. I don't have the materials for them right now, but that's all elsewhere. But those things give you 100K. So if I can do 10 of those, maybe 20 of those, that would give me enough water for what I'm doing. But then I've only got about 20 spaces left to put regular storage boxes anywhere. I do have some ones that could be cycled out. Like I've got some of these little ones here. I could get rid of these. They're honestly holdovers from back in the day. I've got a couple downstairs that I could get rid of. It's not too much of an issue. So I could recover a few, but not as many as we're probably going to need, especially if we keep doing this. What am I going to do with these materials? I don't know. I don't know yet. There's a couple things I need to build, not requiring this much. That's one of the issues that's going to happen with a PvE Deep Desert, where all it took me was time. There was no threat. There was no danger. Worst case scenario, that storm would have hit us, and it would have done some damage to the vehicle. I could just get some welding wire, patch that right up. I know that storage containers are kind of weak comparative to other things. I don't know if a storm could completely destroy it. I know it wouldn't destroy my carrier. It would hurt it, but it wouldn't destroy it. And I think now that they changed the initial release of the cargo containers, they were very fragile, but they're not anymore. So there's no danger. All it takes is time. And if you got 2 hours, how long is it going to be before I need to ever worry about plastic? I could go sell it. Maybe when I get back with the guild, maybe they'll need some. I could donate it, work together with people. I don't like giving strangers things just because it's kind of like taking the game away from them. Mining stuff yourself is what the game's about. If I just give you a bunch of stuff, kind of blows. I'm also the kind of guy that like I wouldn't buy the quick patches or the ketchup packages. Ketchup packets, what an idiot. The things that are like, here, buy this and it gives you access to all the weapons that were released with the game, but you get it, you can buy it for $20 because you're 6 months behind everybody else. I don't even like getting those things. Because it just takes away, and especially in a game like this, the grind is part of it. So I don't normally give it away to people, but I'll sell it. And the guild is different because we're doing guild stuff. So, you know, maybe our crawler gets destroyed and we got to put one together. Everybody chips in type thing. I don't know. I've always been marveling and, I've been commenting on the fact that a month ago I filled up a medium box full of spice melange and it's just now becoming a problem. I finally started having to get spice again because I was down to 2 rows, which honestly, that's like 5,000 melange. So that's not really a problem, but when it was completely full and it's down to that.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Thank gosh it's not out there, you know, and they're not on that island. But anyway, this is one of the hazards I see with a PvE Deep Desert, and especially with the islands. It's basically making these scarce resources no longer scarce. Spice will still be an issue as people kind of fight and jockey over being able to grab everything, but like I said, I hit those mediums and nobody messed with me. The only thing I noticed, the worms were a lot more aggro. Like I wasn't getting near as many passes as I normally did, and I'm like, what is going on? I haven't changed. I'm still wearing the exact same gear, dampened treads, skills haven't changed. In fact, they've gotten better. Why are the worms coming after me so much? I used to be able to do 3, maybe 4 passes on a medium field with my crawler. I was doing 2 and it was becoming an issue. Also, I noticed they were patrolling an awful lot more. They would just start patrolling all over the place. And I'm like, dude, go away. Go find something else to do. I had one breach. Normally I'll do a medium field and I'll get maybe 2 breaches. Maybe 2. I was getting 4 today. Easily 4. 5 in some cases. I even went from one field to another, but I could see it. And he followed me. It was the same worm. I watched him coming behind me. I'm like, dude, get out of here. He was already aggroed. He was already upset with me. But I complain. Shouldn't do that. Anyway, tomorrow, 6 o'clock, I'm going to be streaming as we do a PvP event. No promises on that. You've never seen me PvP. There's a reason for that. I can do it, but I don't know how good I am. There will be a delay on that stream, so you will not be seeing it live. Don't bother asking me questions because I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm just doing that so that there's no special intel or any kind of problems or anything. And if something bad happens, I can catch it. Because if I'm streaming and somebody says bad words and nasty things and violates policies, I get hit for it, and that's not a good thing.
A large sandstorm
Yes, ma'am. I know there's a storm. But yeah, tomorrow at 6 if you want to watch that, and then we'll be back Monday like normal. We'll be getting a tally on how we did with everything and what the totals were, and tearing down our base, making a Solido. We're going to make some changes, get a Solido print of it so that next week, if we want to build it here, or even if we want to put it in the PvP or PvE section, that's fine as well. Really depends on whether or not we want to fight people or not. So, anywho, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found some helpful information on here. This is the first time I've taken a cargo container out to one of those islands. Like I said when we first did it, I kind of stayed away. I went to these in the early days, but only by air. I would go out with a scout, or I didn't take the assault much because the assault was so slow. So I would go out with a scout to one of those islands, and it didn't take long. You know, you'd only be out there for like 5 or 6 nodes, especially in that day. I wasn't very efficient with my skill levels and things, so I wasn't getting a whole ton from everything I was doing. But I got something from non-disciple with $10. I want to get back in the game since I heard Pop is actually starting to go back up. The way that live stream was handled by the company several days ago has left me burnt out. So. See, I was getting ready to leave, and now you're going to throw something like that up there. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I do greatly appreciate that. I have no illusions about this channel. I'm a small channel, small content creator. I do my best to entertain. I'm not in the business. I don't have super awesome links. I don't have numbers I can call. I'm just a tiny little fish in a pond, just swimming away and having fun. I do this to try to help people, and I hope I do. My live streams are longer and more frequent than theirs. And honestly, I think you get a lot more information out of mine than you do out of theirs. I mean, the crocheted worm was cool, but can we not spend a whole lot of time on that? And yeah, the building pieces are cool, but you know what you don't have to do? You don't have to show us all that craziness. You can just show us the thing. And I'm not trying to be mean, but dudes, you know, why are you showing the movie trailer? I know it's the IP and everything, and maybe it was required, so maybe I shouldn't be such a douchebag on it. But I came away from that live stream. I'm not mad, just disappointed. I was hoping for more. And the Q&A part was just thanks. Like, okay. Like, what about server closers? Oh, we don't know yet. We're just making sure everything's working. Well, you announced, like, what, 2 months ago? When did they do it? How long have we had server closures potentially happening? It's been a long time. It's been a couple months. Because they said they were going to be doing it, and they'll let us know. And then that's when we saw the servers were locked. And I think they said, I know they said April, but I thought they also said that people were saying, at least we were thinking, it could be March. And then it went to April, and now it's just, I don't know. It didn't leave me feeling good. I've watched other preview live stream type things like that, and left feeling way more stoked and way more excited than um, than I am now with Water Wars. Uh, I've said before I was a Destiny player. When I first saw the Iron Lords, oh man, that was an incredible DLC, and they knew how to promote it. But one thing I'll give Bungie, they're good at their cinematics. They can make anything look like it's going to be awesome, but it came through. It really did. And I don't know. I feel like they needed to hit a home run, and they maybe got a double. Baseball reference, but yeah. Uh, as far as you're saying there with it's left me burnt out, I get that. Um, I am a simple creature. I can do this kind of stuff for a long time, and still be content. Um, it's like a tedious task, and I don't mind things that are tedious. Eventually, I will get tired of it. Eventually, it will get annoying, and I'll have to take a break of some kind. I'm still lucky to be able to take a break from doing an activity, go do something else in the game still. Um, Partially because this is the kind of stuff I love and Dune fan. So there's talk of a really kick-ass Lord of the Rings game coming out. Oh boy, uh, might be a new girl on the dance floor. We're gonna have to see though. But I can do this for a long time and still be pretty content. But I get it if somebody else isn't that way and they're getting kind of burned out on things like why am I going to go out and mine 14,000 titanium when I don't need it, and I get it. Uh, don't don't say sorry. Take a break. However long you have to. When I played Destiny, I got to a point where I'm like, I'm not enjoying this time. I'm not having fun, and I walked away. I walked away for like 9 months and went and played other games. Uh, Somebody had given me a friend of ours had given me Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, you know what? Let me try this. So I played that game, and that game was great. And I had loads of fun, way more fun than I was ever having at Destiny, and it was really good to take that break. Eventually, I did go back to Destiny, and unfortunately, it just made me realize that the break I took was probably the route I should go, and we ended up taking a permanent break from Destiny. I still have the games. I could still play them. I could load them up right now. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I'd rather watch some of the recordings I have of old gameplay than go back in and start doing that again. So, as I've always said here, if you're not having fun, do something else. Go find another game. It it's not that oh you're walking away or why you crying or you're a snowflake or anything. No, we do this to have fun. And if you're not having fun, stop doing it. Go find something else. There's plenty of other games out there. I've thought about playing Windrose, but I got a building game here. Don't really need to have another one. And I am kind of waiting on, like I said, Lord of the Rings game coming out. I have to see. Battlefield. I got tired of Battlefield. I played the crap out of Battlefield in the very beginning. And I was rocking through the levels and doing all this stuff and all this great. And then uh, it was like for about a week and a half, it just, every time I was done playing, I was like, that sucked. That was dumb. That was, I got a positive KD. So it's not that I'm doing crappy. It's just there are issues with that game, and I don't. From what I've seen, they haven't fixed all of them. They fixed quite a few, but I just wasn't having fun. So it sits It's still loaded. I can turn it on right now if I wanted to. I don't want to. So, yeah, you got nothing to apologize about, man. If you're not enjoying your time, take a break. Give it some time, come back. There might be some new content, some new stuff. Ask. Say, hey, what's this all about? What do I do? Somebody in the chat here just now. Um, Here, been away for a while. They added the taro back to the shoal drops. Okay, so I'm not making fun. Oh, you guys probably can't see that. There you go. Been away for a while. They added the taro back into the shoal drops? Question mark. So Boggle, I know you're not watching, but they did that a long time ago. I'm not picking on you about that. It just gives me an idea of how long this guy's been gone. And the change in my voice is how much he's got to get caught up on. He's got a lot to learn over the next couple days, weeks. So if you do take a break, don't take too long of a break because you may find yourself with way more stuff to figure out and learn. That is not where we supposed to put this. We could get chat messages that come out and do crazy things. But yeah, dude, take a break if you have to. Ask questions if you want to come back, and if it's for you, give it a try. If not, no harm, no foul. Go find something to do. Something that makes you happy. Oh, Lord of Wrath, we're actually getting ready to shut it down right now. Funny, I was just thinking of making stairs to my loot room for easier access to the second shelf. And look at this. We're at 2.5 hours already. Wow. Yeah, this was something that one of my guildmates had done. And I thought, oh, that's a neat idea. They actually do it better because they recess it into the floor and do that. But yeah, this is a half step. And when you come up to it, if you look down, you can get access to this. Even though there's a wall there, you can still open the container. The doors go through them, so it's awesome. And then if you look up, you can get access to this one. That was always my issue when I stacked things, was getting access to that top one. So I'd have to have like a shelf, and it was inconvenient. But yeah, if you just do a half step, if you don't want to recess them into the floor, otherwise you could recess them into the floor, and you build like basically a half wall, so everything else is elevated, and then you can drop them in there and then make a normal second shelf. The only issue I have with this is this guy over here. Because it's so close to the wall, it can't fit in this little guy. This thing here keeps it from lining up properly. I still have access to it just the same way, and I replicated the same thing over here. If you can't end it like that, you can just do the diagonal step. It does make this a little inconvenient, but like that's the only place I can get access to that box. If I move down further, I'm not close enough or high enough. So I got to be right on the corner steps here, but I can get access to it. So, yep. You got to jump to the top shelf, half walls and then steps. That's what I used to do. Was I would do the half wall and it would go up, and I'd have that shelf sticking out over here. But this actually works really well. So by all means, if you need it and you want to use it, go for it. In fact, I don't even have any supports in these. I literally just stuck the half stairs going up, and got cats fighting behind me. But yeah, it's whether you're Harkonnen or even I guess Duneman would be fine. Half stairs. Oop, works perfect. And I like to have, like, here is steel ingots, and that's carbon ore, because carbon ore and iron make steel. And then you have iron ore up here, which makes iron ingots. Then these two combined make this. Aluminum ore right above the aluminum ingot. And then the jasmium, because you add jasmium to aluminum ingots, you get duraluminum. It just makes my soul feel good to have it that organized. It just does it, you know. Plus, it gives me something to do. All right, folks, I really got to get going. But yeah, Dark, by all means, if that helps you out, it's real quick and real easy. I didn't think that you could have something that close to the doors and it would still open, but apparently it can open through them. So there you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Gonna be fight night tomorrow night. All I can think of, I don't know if you guys are Game of Thrones fans, but it was a great line when Sir Davos was getting ready to try to defend Jon Snow after he was killed, and drew his sword and he looked at the guys in the room with him and he said, "I apologize for what you're about to see." Might be that. Don't know. Maybe I'll surprise you. I don't think I will. I'm hoping I will. But anyway, yep, we'll be PvPing tomorrow night. And then, hi guys, we're stop fighting. And then we'll be back Monday doing our normal stuff. I'll have a wrap up of what we got accomplished here, give you the actual numbers and totals, and we'll be ready to go. So thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. Those things help out the channel. And I guess I always say I'll see you out there, but honestly, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow out there. Take care, everybody.